subscribe, and ring the bell to never miss an update. Hello everyone! Today on Lady Mary Beth, we are at the Spring Antique Mall located in North Houston off of I-45 near Old Town Spring. They've got over 10,000 square feet, 3 dozen dealers, and fine antiques. I haven't been here in a while. Can't wait to go in and see what they've got for us today. Come along. The last time I was here, I found Waterford crystal compotes and so many other beautiful items. So come on in and join me. And sometimes they have coffee and cookies too, so might be in for a treat today. It's great to be back in this antique shop. It's been too long since I was here last. There are lots of vendors and I can't wait to see what we find today. I'm enjoying those keyhole candle holders. And there is a compote that looks like it could be Cambridge. These berry bowls are sweet. Those are European, most likely. Purple transferware is, I would say, rather rare, and that's definitely a real find. The Hunka Munka from Royal Doulton was my very first collection. These figurines were a big part of my life. I started collecting these in the 3rd grade. I see Jeremy Fisher, and I do have those stored. Well, this is like a dream for me, Waterford-Wedgwood. What better combination? It's where I started my career, and this is the most extensive Jasperware collection I've ever seen in an antique shop. It's absolutely impressive, from cufflinks to a pendant to candle holders and a pitcher. Incredible. And then Waterford crystal over here, and I'll show you some of the pieces. I see a baby booty, an apprentice bowl, business card holder, so many great pieces, including some that are from the archives. So many different Jasperware colors here that are represented. The green is also pleasing. These cufflinks are interesting, as well as the pin. That footed bowl I have and I use often. The Wedgwood urns are quite something. And there's a piece of heron that is from Hungary and is a fantastic porcelain. They feature that in Downton Abbey as well. And the Waterford compote dish, I believe, is from the archives. The Lismore rose bowl is classic. I always look for inexpensive hostess gifts, birthday gifts, and they have lots of that here. The Lennox swan-handled centerpiece is exquisite. And I'm thinking about this one. It's the Lennox rose pattern, and I do have another piece, actually 2 pieces in that pattern. There's the Nouveau Christmas, and all of these are Lennox. That one doesn't look to be, but it actually is, with the hand-painted flowers. Silver-plated forks and spoons are always a good idea to have on hand if you don't have enough with your current service. They even make good hostess gifts. These are beautiful transferware pieces, and I see some hand-painted candle holders. Those would look great with white dishes. That's the beauty of having a pattern like Cellini from Villard and Bach, is that you can pair it with some of these interesting tableware serving pieces. There's some Lennox with a beautiful fluted edge. I like those glass baskets. And even the seashell boxes. That reminds me of my childhood from the souvenir shops, but that actually could look interesting in a setting. The glass baskets are so purposeful. I presented one to a friend as a hostess gift last week when she invited us for dinner. You could use that at Easter time with Easter grass. This is a chocolate set. It's actually not a coffee pot. And those are harder to find. That is Nippon. Lots of teacups, whether it's demi-tasse or the regular size cups. They have plenty here in so many different booths. Demi-tasse cups actually are interesting. You could serve a bouillon soup in that for a ladies' luncheon. There's a beautiful cup that's from England, bone china. I've started recently collecting some more of the demi-tasse. And there's so much to see here, so many tiny treasures. And I am interested in the salt cellars. I have a growing collection. You can find these anything from pressed glass to elegant cut glass and fine china. This looks to be Limoges that's been hand painted. I don't see a mark on it, but I really do think it's Limoges. And here is a fine cut crystal. And they don't have to match. And you're probably wondering why you would need salt cellars. They're actually very interesting on a table. And you could use flavored salts. They had quite a few linens. I didn't look through, but that's something you could certainly take some time. This dish pattern intrigued me. I thought the price was really good. And it's so hard to find a teapot in any pattern, whether it's vintage or modern. And the fact that they still had the sugar creamer with it. This is from Harmony House. Really, really nice. You could pair that with white if you needed to stretch it with more teacups. And this is an odd item I wanted to point out. It's actually an asparagus server. And you could even use it maybe to put over something else or have letters that you're storing inside. Silver-plated punch bowl. I think everyone needs one, and I actually don't have one. With the pedestal and the tray, the price is right, $125. You can do so much with this, and it transports well too. You've probably seen me feature this when I hosted a party in Nashville area in Tennessee, and this is like 2 for the price of 1. You, of course, could cover it to keep something warm or use it as 2 pieces. There's so many things to discover here, but I'm drawn to this silver plate and the sterling silver items. This cake stand is one that I have in my collection in 2 sizes. My mother and I collected these for years. At $39, that is a steal, and I probably should have bought this. I have quite a few. What a great gift that would be. It's sort of a candle wick design. This teapot I thought was rather regal, graceful shape with a hand engraved monogram. It's a quadruplate piece that would be a nice addition to your collection. This pastry server is definitely going home with me. I like the pierced design, and I actually already have this. It's made in Germany, and I think it could be pre-war because it does not say West Germany, and it's definitely not new. It's a nice fluted butter dish. Keep an antique shop in mind when you're looking for a birthday or hostess gift, or even for the holidays. This Formica-based wine coaster, that's silver plate, is practical and very purposeful, and I think anyone would be happy to receive that. The spooner is quite interesting. I like that. And I'm drawn to this sort of chinoiserie looking creamer. It's actually from Japan. It's Nippon. And wouldn't that be fun for your morning tea? Cloches are interesting to feature collections or delicate item. That's something I featured on my channel. And I love a square tray. I don't know what it is about the shape, but I find it so purposeful and doesn't take up a lot of space on the table. This is a Wilcox piece, and they make excellent quality. It's definitely worth every penny. And you'll notice that there are a lot of cake stands in this antique shop that are EAPG, which is early American pressed glass. And there are also some crystal ones that we find, all different price points, and these are great to elevate just about anything. It could be on a vanity for your perfume bottles, or it could be used for serving all types of different foods. And you can never have enough cake plates. I like this ruby basket. You don't see those too often. And here are some more salt cellars that are more of an oval shape. Those are quite interesting, pressed glass. And maybe I should think about adding to my collection. I really like this one. You could even use that as a nut dish. It's a little bit bigger than the others. There's the classic blue willow. I think that would even be good for the fall. You've probably seen my chinoiserie episode. Oh, such fun. It would pair well with these red Bubblefoot glasses from Anchor Hawking. I found these at a garage sale and have really enjoyed featuring these for different occasions. And this cake stand you might recognize. I showcased it in my live. It was an estate sale find, and it's got quite a lot of surface area. I absolutely love it. These Waterford bells are fun. That's an Avon dish. I don't know what the original purpose was. I have 2 of these and I use them for nut cups. Love having these. Sterling silver-based sugar and creamer. This is the Napoleon ivy pattern from Wedgwood. My mother had the Franciscan ivy. It's what I grew up with. And she met up with Lord Wedgwood and asked why they would possibly discontinue her Franciscan ivy once they purchased the company. He explained that this was in the archives and has been around since about 1800 and was Napoleon's pattern while he was in exile. And that was her answer. As you probably have seen, I featured a royal commemorative collection recently on my channel, and it's not only for the Jubilee, it's also to commemorate a marriage, a birth, and even a foreign tour by the Queen. And here we have her with a tour of Canada. It's really neat. It shows the map. It would have been a collector's item years ago. And of course, Charles and Diana when they married, some beautiful commemorative plates, and the Wedgwood Jasperware, which is also fun. I have quite a collection and I'm always looking for new items. And I tell you, one item that is rather rare is King Edward's coronation. It never took place. And it's really hard to find these items. It was scheduled for May the 12th of 1937, and you know, he abdicated to marry Wallis Simpson. And it is $24. It's from England. Such a neat piece. So think about these items when you're shopping. You don't have to necessarily display it as a collection. You could use it. That could be used for a cookie with your morning tea. It doesn't have to be just for show. Lots of great serving pieces and accent decorative items. The glass slipper I've loaned to friends. It's great with M&Ms or Jelly Bellies for a little girl's birthday party on the table. Ruby glass, I think, is so purposeful. It goes with almost every holiday. These are the Anchor Hawking bubble-footed glasses in a different size. Those are nice. And there's lots of the Fostoria American pattern. So many beautiful shapes and sizes. And the candle wick pattern from the Imperial Glass Company is elegant. It goes with just about any style. Can't go wrong with that. It would make a great gift. In the locked cases, there are tiny treasures and also some jewelry items to see. These are sterling hurricane holders. You could also just put a taper candle in that. A Haviland hand-painted dish. These dancers would make great centerpieces. I think those are graceful, interesting, and the Wallis Rose Point sterling edged dish is quite special. Here's some occupied Japan figurines, and I like that the dealer has given that information in case a shopper doesn't know the history of that. You know I love Hummel figurines. The Doll Doctor was a gift I got for graduation. The prices are really good too. It's a nice coffee set. The beautiful pattern. It looks to be made in England. Here's some of the jewelry items. I didn't focus as much on that today, but they certainly had some nice pieces. And the sterling serveware, flatware, well represented. And these goblets are quite nice too. I like that mini rose bowl. I should have bought that. This is Vaseline glass. You may have heard of that. You're probably wondering what that's about. It's also called uranium glass. And in a normal light, you'll see that it's yellow and then it glows bright green under the black light. And minerals were added to the molten mixture to achieve this color. It is highly collectible. That's the Waterford martini pitcher. Be great for juice in the morning. There's just so much to see here. I could have spent all day in this wonderful antique mall. The Wedgwood Jasperware in black is a rather rare color. I like the masculine look. That is an interesting piece. I see some flow blue there and more silver-plated and sterling flatware. And the cut crystal and silver-plated cruet set is lovely. There's so many coronation items and commemorative royal pieces. I have this same plate for Queen Elizabeth's parents for their coronation and 1953 for Queen Elizabeth II. Might get this one. And here are her parents here in a commemorative cup. I have one that I use as a pencil cup. Again, you don't have to always display it and have a formal collection. And this is for the Queen's Silver Jubilee. I've never seen so many royal commemorative items in one place. Vintage Halloween is such fun. My mother had a collection of these. It was one of her favorite holidays. And things that you would find at the dime store back in the 50s are now quite expensive. So maybe take a look next time you're at a thrift store. I've found some great pieces there. And those treat bags are fun. Oh, I just love Halloween. Those drink stirrers I have not seen before with a Halloween theme. I love the English barley twist table. This one actually has another leaf. That's quite interesting. Usually I'd see a square table. Be perfect for a breakfast room. And this vanity I wanted to point out is made for women in the Victorian era that had larger skirts, so that they could be seated comfortably in front of the mirror. So much beautiful glass, but let's take a look first at this mahogany drum table. I like the graceful look, and it has 2 pull-out drawers. That could be very nice for a living room or an entryway. You could even put it in a bedroom. And the price is amazing. The emerald glass would look really good with those red ruby-footed anchor hocking. Usually emerald's a bit more expensive, so I'm happy to find those. This is the prettiest carnival glass pattern I've ever seen. I love that sugar and creamer. It would pair well with anything fall. And these are a bit unusual with a frosted Dutch design. I've not seen these before, and that's a good price considering such an unusual item from Imperial. My grandmother had glass doorknobs in every room of her house, and I was always fascinated by these. It would be nice if they'd come back in style. I've never seen so many in one place. And this is another mystery item I will feature on an upcoming episode of some odd antique items. The mahogany table with the marble top reminds me of one that my grandmother has from the pre-Civil War era. And that is a lovely piece along with this dresser. Definitely an older piece that you don't find as often, and I think the price is really good. This is solid wood. And I'm imagining this compartment would be for gloves. The chinoiserie pedestal I had my eye on. Really like that for $69. It's a great piece. This is where I bought the Waterford crystal compotes in the Glandor pattern. Actually identical to this. They had different heights. $55 is a good deal. And I'm always finding things in this booth. They have so much Waterford. I see a beautiful bowl in the back. And 3 different patterns. I see Kylemore, Colleen, and the price is right. Under $30 or $32 a stem. That's great. These Lenox swans are so beautiful. Can you imagine these just displayed on a shelf or featured as a centerpiece on a table? And I'm glad that they're selling them as a pair so that they stay together. Here's some interesting hat pins. There's an Ainsley piece in the back and a Waterford Lismore wine decanter. And I'm looking at the Colleen bowl in the back. That's my favorite Waterford bowl pattern. And here we've got some more beautiful items. Look at all of the glassware and vintage pressed glass. This is a sterling-based compote. I have one identical to this. And you can remove the top and use it as a candle holder, and it makes for easy storage as well. It's a good price. And lots of Murano baskets and Fenton. Beautiful. And they even list the pattern. That's helpful. I have this identical cake stand. It is from the late 1800s, and my mother had it. We used it at my wedding, and now I have her cake stands. Squares are usually a little more expensive, and I think that price is really good. Lots of transferware and some flow blue as well. And even if you only have one pattern that maybe is white or neutral, you could definitely pair it with some of these platters or serving piece like this bowl. It's so beautiful. I could even see an arrangement in that or decorative objects. It's made in England. And that's really a special piece. And the silver-plated flatware bundled together makes for just an easy gift to add to your gift closet. And this 3-part dish is graceful, and I can see that for so many different uses. And the basket as well. Love the Victorian look about that. And the prices are right on all these pieces. That could be on an entry table, filled with fruit for an event. And so many Fenton pieces. The opalescent, I really enjoy. That's hobnail as well. Opalescent is sort of an ombre look. It adds so much interest to it. This display cabinet is a nice piece. I wouldn't mind taking that home. I encourage you to take a second look at some of the silver-plated utensils that you find in antique shops. This cake server is really a nice piece, and it's bringing the old back. It's $7.50, and it's got great detail on the handle. That would make it a nice gift. You could tie a pretty ribbon around it, maybe include your favorite recipe. And this spoon is very Victorian. I think my friend might get this one. It's $22, and it's got great detail. And here's some more Wedgwood Jasperware in the Portland blue, and then also the classic. The flower frog vase is quite a find. And the small teapot is lovely with the neoclassical look. And this teacup, you can tell, is really old. That's not a color they still make. And speaking of colors, I have never seen this before in the Wedgwood Jasperware. That is very special. And those cufflinks are nice. That'd be a great men's gift. And a Waterford crystal lamp. It's not the original shade. Of course, you could change it out. And it's a good price. They also have another one. My mother had this lamp. It is more of the Ballyshannon pattern with a square base, and that is the original shade. It's a very graceful look. Be a nice addition to a living room. And that's a really good price. And more teacups, and this pine shelf is actually for sale, so you could just take the whole thing with you and have a nice teacup collection ready to go. Lots of beautiful patterns. Let's take a look at this one. There's no back stamp. It looks like there might be some hand painting. The really older pieces don't have the stamps. It's a nice seashell collection in that beautiful display cabinet. I could spend all day in this shop. There's just so much to see, and the wildflower Cambridge plates are beautiful, and I like the silver overlay. I have some of these pieces. It's actually easy to keep clean, and I'm drawn to anything blue and cobalt, and you'll see how these different pieces, whether it's glass or pottery or fine china, they all go well together. That's a great price on that cut to clear cobalt vase. So you could just have a collection and interchange them. And these etched glasses are so delicate and beautiful. A set of 6. And look up when you go into an antique shop, because that's something I usually forget. And there are lots of things to be had there with the light fixtures and other items. Here they've repainted this hutch, and they feature white ironstone and silver-plated pieces, along with some vintage photographs. I like the look and the vibe here. It keeps it interesting and not too colorful. This spooner is an EAPG, and I planned on getting this, but I forgot when I checked out. Isn't that beautiful? And if you have a Scrabble game, don't donate it or throw it out. Keep those tiles. These are 50 cents a piece, and you could create a nice saying with that. Food now sounds good to me. It's nice to get ideas when shopping in an antique store, because they often mix different eras together, or sometimes modern with vintage. Come on in, let me show you around this booth. There are so many things that I could highlight with the repurposed hutch over here, but what I wanted to draw your attention to is this fantastic vintage cake plateau. I've never seen one like it. It's over $500, so I'm definitely going to have to think on that one. And that would be great for an entry table or a dining table with a centerpiece. Imagine a beautiful crystal bowl on top. What I am taking home today is this pierced cake server with a daffodil design. Isn't that fabulous? And it's a really good price. It's only $18, so at least I have something nice I can take home and add to my collection and utilize on my tea table. So many interesting pieces that they've paired here with some older items, such as these pillowcases that the bride and groom did not open up. That looks really old. You know, it's a fine quality linen as well. You could probably even frame these. That cake plateau was gorgeous. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Steuben glass. It is a luxury crystal company from New York. And of course, Baccarat, the crystal of kings from France. There's a penguin in the Steuben. Those are some top brands that are represented here at the Spring Antique Mall. And there's another cake stand. in the background. I just can't get enough. There's so many dealers that have great pieces. I just couldn't see everything today, but this child's desk I thought was interesting because it is a roll top. I've never seen this before. Wouldn't that be perfect for a preschooler to keep their things organized? And the cake stands, you know, I always recommend these. I think that makes a great gift for someone that has everything. I have a viewer that collects the cottage garden. I have some of these pieces myself from Ainsley. And depression glass is always fun to collect. There's the green, the pink, the blue. I prefer the green. I think it goes with most everything, different holidays, but I do have a large pink collection as well. It's a great picture. And the Fostoria American pattern I use every morning. I have this identical mini creamer and sugar that I use with my tea. It's a great way to start the day. These dessert plates, you could put a sherbet dish on top of that, use it as an underplate. And this booth had some neat pieces that I wanted to showcase. There's so many great things in these booths, and I'm afraid we can't hit all of them today, but I do want to highlight a few items. This may seem like a boring bag that looks crumpled up. It's actually Rosenthal from Germany, and it's porcelain, and it's meant to be a vase. I know that looks unusual, but wouldn't that make a great gift for someone that has everything and surprise them with that? It's $38. Isn't that fun? And one of the items I think is the bargain of the day is this etched glass jam jar. You could use it as a honey pot, but I would probably stick to lemon curd or jam. It's $28 and it's got a sterling silver lid, very lightweight, and a sterling spoon. Isn't that amazing? What a deal. There are lots of hidden gems here today, and I think it's just important to take your time, go through all the booths, and see what is of interest. And here's some Waterford crystal. This is a pattern I'm not familiar with. And the logo, the acid etched, seems to be not so old, so maybe it's a new pattern. Bally Bay, a set of 2 port glasses for $42. Isn't that fun? Eclectic pieces for sure that you could add to your decor. And I love the silver plate and the spooners. This sugar shell would make a great gift for $5. Tie a ribbon around it, put a nice card with it. Everyone needs a sugar shell. It's quite a nice perfume bottle collection. It would be beautiful on a dresser or vanity. And the one on the left with the floral frosted look reminds me of Lalique. I am definitely interested in these crystal pieces. I think every household needs at least one rose bowl. This is cut crystal, and that's an excellent price. You can use them for, of course, floral arrangements. You could put a votive candle in it, Kleenexes, and I also use one for toothbrushes. This large vase is quite spectacular. That is definitely European, I would say probably Eastern European, with the Hobstar design and the notched rim on the vase. Not Irish or English. Those Cobalt mugs, I used to have a collection of those. And the nesting boxes. The Jasperware small pitcher I think is a really good deal. And the bell is as well. My daughter keeps a Waterford crystal bell on her bedside table in case she's sick, and then she can ring the bell for us during the night. I know that sounds funny, but it's kind of a family tradition. And the multicolored hawk wines are, I think, fascinating because they are from East Germany, which tells you that it's after the wall came up and before the wall came down. So that's a span of some years there. Beautiful colors. And of course, I love the Cobalt cut to clear pieces, especially this tumbler. The Design Naive from Viller & Bach is still a current pattern, I believe, and those are trinket boxes. And this really, for $10, I think is such a good deal. I could use this as a spooner to hold dessert spoons, or as a vase, or drink my juice out of it. And here are some coasters and salt cellars in the original box. This booth is having some items on sale. And again, we find the Fostoria from the American pattern. More rose bowls. This is a perfect opportunity to add to your collection. And lots of demi-tasse and teacups from all over. I see some that are Asian, English. There's some Wedgwood Transferware, some French. Would be so nice to just start your collection. That's a sweet pink rose design. There's a crystal cake stand. You can see it's not the EAPG. Milk glass. Those snack sets are such fun. This looked like Rosenthal from Germany, but I'm not sure that it is. It's beautiful. Nice neutral color. I know there are a lot of hurricane lamp collectors, oil lamps. These are some beautiful silver-plated serveware pieces. I love the teapot. And those goblets are nice too. That could even be used as a centerpiece with flowers. Fiestaware is still made and highly collectible. And they've got some beautiful colors. See how this vibrant look really is exciting. That would get your morning going for sure. Well, it's time to check out, and I wanted to show you all my purchases today. Of course, you've seen this cake server with the daffodil. What a deal, at $18. And I couldn't resist this glass jam jar with the sterling silver lid and spoon for $28. Have to take that home, and of course that would make a great gift as well. And the Cobalt cut to clear crystal tumbler I think would be a nice vase, or I could use it for dessert forks or spoons for the table. I think it's just fantastic, and I like the pattern on it. And this is a pastry server that I have already in my collection, and I'm going to add it. And for $8 now I have a second one. Might even bring that to Germany. And this is the mystery item that I will feature in a future segment of odd items that you find in antique shops. So stay tuned for that one. And my friend is getting this Victorian spoon that would be great for casseroles. So let's check out now so that we can go have some lunch. Thanks for coming along today to the Spring Antique Mall. I sure had fun and found some great items. And remember, an antique shop is a wonderful place to find something from the past to make the perfect present. I hope that you find shops in your area. Elevate your everyday with antique finds.